We always knew that we wanted kids. It was just a matter of how many. I said 3, he said 2, but we got 8, so neither of us won.
For John and Kate Gosselin, raising 8 children is a monumental task. Their days are filled with toddler tiffs and parental squabbles.
Listen, I have eyes everywhere. I can watch.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Still, beneath the stress of living life Gosselin style lies a miracle of multiple blessings.
My greatest dream was to be a mom, and I actually used to say to my mom when I was very young, "Mommy, what if when I get older I can't have babies?"
Her childhood fears later became a reality.
I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and that is like a very common fertility issue.
Despite the diagnosis, John and Kate's dreams came true. 7 months following a successful round of infertility treatments, Kate gave birth to beautiful twin girls.
John was happy with 2 kids. We were having a blast. It was awesome with twins. I mean, honestly, like, dream come true.
Even though the potential to conceive a second time was slim, Kate couldn't shake the desire to try for just one more baby.
I wanted to know what it was like to have one baby, and knowing that we were doing fertility, obviously I couldn't be guaranteed that I would have one baby.
The Gosselins faced many discouraging situations during their journey, but in the midst of it all, God always gave them encouragement.
I had received a phone call from the doctor, I think that's when it was, and I was crying. I wasn't pregnant, and I was upset in there, and Maddie came up the stairs and did not hear the conversation, and she said, "Mommy, why are you crying?" And I said, I didn't get a chance to answer her, and she said, "Is it about a brother or a sister?" And I said, "Yes," and I was already like thinking, how do you know this? And she rubbed my leg and she said, "It'll be soon, it'll be soon." And I was like, it gave me chills. How does a 3-year-old know to say that? And so that really comforted me because I felt like it was, you know, God's prophecy, like kind of through her.
After 2 grueling cycles of artificial insemination, the Gosselins got the much-awaited news.
I could never wait for them to tell me, so I always took home pregnancy tests. I had taken so many that were negative. I wanted to see positive. And it was way before I should have known that I was pregnant. I took a test and it was positive, but I have to say I already knew.
They also knew that multiple babies would be a possibility, but in their minds, multiples meant twins.
To be very honest, twins would have been just fine because by then I was used to grabbing, 2 outfits, 2 diapers, 2 whatever. I even found myself grabbing 2 things for me.
Little did they know a minefield of surprises awaited them.
As soon as it flashed up on the screen, I went into complete shock because I saw all the circles, but I told myself that can't be babies. There's just too many to count in one glance. And my entire life flashed before my eyes as I knew it before, and I knew no matter the outcome at that moment, whether I have all of them, lose all of them, or end up with some of them, my life would never be the same.
John was even more shocked than Kate.
I looked over at him at some point to regain some strength, or for him to say, "It'll be okay," and he was biting his lip, and he was pale, and he actually bent down at some point because he said, "If I don't, I'm going to pass out." And then I knew it was really bad.
Her pregnancy was exhausting. Her doctors put her on complete bed rest early in her first trimester, and she endured 20 weeks in the hospital.
My body was failing. I remember thinking, I can feel it. It's giving up. And it's everything I could do just to hang on to them.
On May 10th, 2004, 30 weeks into the pregnancy, Kate went into labor.
I was wheeled in that morning, and I kind of wish now I would have stopped and just really reveled in that moment like it's over. Like yesterday was the last day of this. So I just sobbed through the whole preparation time, and I remember saying to them, I'm sorry, I don't have any more strength left. And they said that was okay, and sorry. And it was difficult. I call it torture chamber. It was really difficult. They wanted to put me under. We had this argument ongoing during the hospitalization. They wanted to put me under for the delivery, and I knew we wouldn't be allowed to videotape or take pictures. And so I argued with them and made a huge fuss about it, telling my doctor, they're not putting me under. I didn't go through this not to hear them cry and to see their little faces.
Despite the potential complications, at 7:51 that morning, the tiny but healthy Gosselin sextuplets were born by cesarean.
Kate Gosselin, you just had sextuplets.
They pulled Alexis out, and I'll never forget that because it was like 50 or 75 people who broke into applause. She gave a really loud, awesome cry, and is so Alexis. And each baby after that they pulled out, it was awesome to hear them and to know that they were okay. There was no time to pause to show them to me. And so I was like trying to watch them as they went by, but that was the most, again, torture chamber, the experience of them pulling them out. I remember saying to John, it feels like they're pulling each of my organs out one at a time. I could actually feel it.
Life in the Gosselin household changed forever that day. The next year proved to be a challenge.
Did you ever read that stress chart? Pretty much, honestly, everyone on there. A move or two, birth of 6 babies, not just one. John's dad passed away. He was our most involved grandparent. Months after the babies were born, my best friend from nursing school was killed in a car accident. She had just turned 30. That was a big blow. John was unemployed this entire time. Couldn't pay our bills. Tougher, I mean, he stood in line at the Salvation Army for, heating assistance. A lot of guilt because we couldn't afford 2 kids, let alone 8. Were we the right choice for this? A lot.
This difficult time was especially hard on John.
He was trying to hang on. He aged a lot that year. Certainly a lot more than any 27-year-old I had known had ever gone through.
Their bleak financial situation finally came to an end when the Goslins received the best Christmas gift of all. John got a job at the state capitol.
By God's grace, we survived that year. It was extremely difficult.
The Goslins became one of America's favorite families when a TV special on surviving sextuplets turned into their weekly series on TLC. John and Kate detail the ups and downs of their daily life in the spotlight in their latest book, Multiple Blessings.
And I just think it's an amazing journey. And when I look at it and when I read it, that's our story that we lived, but it's God's story that He gave to us. And so if I can encourage one mom just to keep going, I think it's worth it. Kara, Maddie,
Alexis,
Hannah, Aiden, Colin, Leah, Joel.
Being a parent of 8 children has changed Kate's perception of the Lord.
When I was growing up, I thought of God as, someone who is all around, who is waiting to strike you when you do something bad, when you get out of line. And I think through this experience, without a doubt, we've come out of it realizing how much He loves us and how much He wants to bless us. We're very blessed, and we're very glad at this point that we were chosen for whatever His reason was. Whatever He wants us to do, that's what I want to do.